Hey there, everybody. You've made it to day 7. Congratulations. That's quite a feat. To get through 7 full days of boot camp is intense. That means that you've been reading the book. It means that you have been doing the workbook assignments, which are like crazy hard. I've got you making vision boards and doing all sorts of crazy things. Tomorrow's homework assignment is going to be the hardest of all 25 days. So just a heads up. But we're ready to get started. We're ready for day 7. This is absolutely crazy. Y'all ready for some oil adrenaline? Tonight it is game plan time. My name is Sarah Harnish. I'm a platinum in Young Living, and I'm the author of the Game Plan book right here. It's a complete strategy guide to go from starter kit to silver. It's up on Amazon. You guys ready? Here we go. The oil this evening is Oola Grow. This one right here, it's one of my favorite oils. I really have an affinity for this one. This one's like in my top 5 of all oils. I have kind of a funny story to share with you to get started tonight on the training. I had my business for 8 weeks, and we had won the Global Leadership Cruise to Venice 2 years ago. We had just started our business. And so when I got on that boat, I didn't know anybody. I didn't even know Adam Green's face, just to like tell you how completely lost I was. Nobody was on the boat that I knew. None of my upline, my direct upline was there. And I was really discouraged. I brought 3 of my older children with me, and immediately they glommed on to all these Royal Crown Diamond kids. They're gone from like 7 in the morning until 2 in the morning. My kids are out partying in the little teen section of the boat and gallivanting all over the boat. And I'm like trying to insert myself in people's conversations, just randomly sitting at their tables for dinner. I'm all by myself. I didn't know anybody. And I was getting really discouraged. And so finally by Wednesday on the boat, we'd been on the boat for like 4 days, I was having a total pity party. And I went back to my room and I'm like, God, why am I even here? I don't know anybody on this boat. I'm completely alone. My kids are making friends, but I'm having a hard time. And so I just felt encouraged to sit down and just start doing some training. I had some training videos on my laptop and I was just kind of pouring into myself. And I whipped out my Oola Grow oil. And I just put a little grow on the back of my neck. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to allow myself to get to a place of pity. Whenever you're in a place where you're just really getting beat up, either somebody's criticizing you or you're just not feeling up to it. I mean, everything's going wrong. The way I see that is you're at a fork in the road. All right. You can do one of 2 things whenever you're getting beat up. You can take whatever is hitting you in the face, and you can take the little nuggets of truth and you can grow from it, and you can get better and stronger at what you're doing. Or you can let it completely bowl you over and just lay in a puddle on the floor and give up. So I didn't want to lay in a puddle on the floor and give up. I knew there were a lot of famous people on that boat, and I was determined to interview them. David Stewart was on the boat. I knew that the Oola guys were on the boat. I knew that Jake Dempsey, the guy that created the Oily Tools app, was on the boat. I knew my Royal Crown Diamond was on the boat, but he didn't know me from Adam. He had no idea who I was. And I was like, no, I'm going to pick myself up the floor, and I'm going to go find those people. I'm going to interview them. So I took the grow oil and I just kind of doused myself in it, grabbed my swimsuit, and plopped down in the hot tub. I was in the hot tub for maybe 2 minutes, and a whole group of women came over and they sat down, and they were all lemon droppers. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the lemon dropper team. I love their team. They've got a concept called hustle, which basically means get off your butt and get out there and run your business. Their leaders are amazing. And so I was sitting there, and I love your guys' comments tonight. They're making me crack up. So I'm sitting there, and they just completely adopted me. They said, Sarah, you're here all by yourself. It's okay. Why don't you come join our team? You sit down. You can have dinner with us every night. We'll introduce you to the people that we know. Oh, Becky's a lemon dropper. I love the lemon droppers. There's such good people in that team. And so we get up, and I'm like glued to them for the rest of the trip. And we're going from table to table to table. We're sitting down. We're eating on the side of the pool. And it's like 5 minutes later, and I got my Oola Grow on, and I kid you not, Jake Dempsey walks right behind me. I just reapplied my oil. So first I put it on and I make all these friends. And I kid you not, I've been on that boat for 4 days and could not make a single friend. Like, I was inserting myself awkwardly in people's conversations. I'm like going down to the ballroom. I'm just standing there, talking to people, and they don't know who I am. They're like, who's this crazy blonde who's just like talking to us? It was really awkward for 4 days. And I put the grow oil on, and all of a sudden I had a whole hot tub full of friends. Then right after I reapplied again, Jake Dempsey goes walking right behind me, and one of my lemon dropper friends turns to me and she says, Sarah, isn't that one of the people that you wanted to interview? Isn't that Jake Dempsey? I was like, no way. So I go over and I interview him, and I'm like, hey, I love your Oily Tools app. It's awesome. And he's like super rock star status. There's a picture of him in my book. I saw him at convention last year, and I said, hey, I put you in my book. Is that okay? And he's like, sure, it's fine. So as I'm sitting there interviewing him, all of a sudden, Dave, one of the Oola guys, just goes walking down the pool deck. And I'm like, Jake, no offense, I got to wrap this interview up because Dave is right there. So I finish the interview, I grab my Oola Grow, put it on, and I run the length of the entire pool deck. And I get to the end, and I run into Dave, and I was like, Dave, I go, my name's Sarah, and I really want to interview you for my team. I'm on the boat here. I'm an executive, and I want to interview you. And he goes, Sarah, he goes, anybody that runs the length of a cruise deck, a deck on a cruise ship is very Oola, and you can totally interview me. So he's standing there with his dinner in his hands and his college-age daughter, and I interviewed him. And then as soon as I finished that interview, I got changed, put some more Oola Grow oil on, went and sat down. I just walked into to the dining hall, randomly went and sat down. Yeah, I was interviewing in my bathing suit. It actually was my workout clothes. And so I walked in and I just sat down at this table and I was like, hey, my name's Sarah. Can I have dinner with you guys? It ended up being a table of like all Royal Crown diamonds and Crown diamonds. And one of them just happened to be the upline for David Stewart. And so I'm sitting there, I'm talking, and they're all laughing and everything. And the guy's like, oh, you want to interview David Stewart? Yeah, let me go take you over to him. I'm like, so he takes my hand and we walk across the dining hall and there's David Stewart. And so I sat down and I interviewed David Stewart. It was just like, bam, bam. I'm sitting there and a couple minutes goes by and I hear this voice behind me, this deep voice. And it's, are you Sarah Harnish? And I said, yeah. And I turn around and it was Mike McDaniel, who was my Royal Crown Diamond. And I said, oh my gosh, I've been trying to interview you. He goes, yeah, I know. He goes, I've had probably 30 people tell me that you're looking for me on the boat. And I ended up getting his interview. So within a span of an hour, like every single interview I was trying to get, plus I had a whole group of friends. I hung out with him for the rest of the trip. I'm telling you, there's something in this bottle. Like there's something in this bottle that just helps you get over those confidence issues and like how you are perceived by other people is like the coolest oil ever. So, because we're going to hit a bunch of hard topics tonight. Oola Grow is our oil. Hopefully you guys can see it. This is one of my favorites. I call it my interview oil because I love that oil. I'm so drawn to it. So that's my story. If you haven't noticed, we put another freebie up on the site tonight. It's a freebie for you. It's a gift for you guys from John and I. We literally worked on it for 10 hours today, trying to get it ready for you guys. It's something very, very special. I shot it with my children with my cell phone. About a year ago, I was trying to come up with some media that we could use in our classes. And I wanted to give something that was an icebreaker video in our classes that Young Living's going to wonder why all these people put Oola Grow in their cart tonight. Like, well, we want to interview David Stewart. That's why. I wanted to have a video we could show in our classes that would break up the lecture. So it wasn't just me talking. I was losing my voice from doing all that teaching, and I wanted to keep our classes a little bit more media heavy and keep the excitement level up, have something fun. And so I figured we could do a scavenger hunt throughout my house and have all of my children run through the house, opening all the cabinets and showing everybody what an oily lifestyle looked like. What did an oil-infused house look like? Because every oil you're using is a chemical you're not using in your home. And we were originally going to sell the video, but you know me, guys, I'm really content driven, and the video is only 3 minutes long. And I'm like, I'm not going to ask anybody to pay for a 3-minute video. We're just going to give that away for free. So we decided last night to put it up on the website so you guys can use it for your classes, and it's totally free. So you can say some crazy freak blonde in upstate New York has 5 kids. They're all big oilers, and this is what their house looks like. It literally is the inside of our home. And so my 5 kids are out on the lawn, and I chase them all over our yard and then through our house, on our deck, in our van, and they're just pulling things open, and they're showing everybody, hey, every single thing I got in my hands is a chemical I'm not using. And then we end with our little guy, who is, I think, 9 years old at the time, standing on the roof of our house. If you could have seen while we were shooting that video, you totally would have laughed, because my husband is like trying to stay out of the shot. He's calling cues out to the kids, getting them lined up where they need to be in the next room. I'm running through the house, chasing him with the cell phone, and it was so much fun. We did it in one take, and we had 15 minutes to get it done before it was too dark outside to shoot. So it was a one-hit wonder, kind of like the book. We wrote the book in one day. So may it bless you guys and your teams. It's up on the freebies, on the free sites and the free stuff on the website, oilabilityteam.com. So you have full permission to go to the site, play it right off of YouTube. You can make it full screen. If your internet's strong enough, you should be able to just play it during your classes. And it's an icebreaker. It just makes everybody laugh. It shows them what an oil-infused lifestyle looks like. So may that bless you guys and your teams. We love you. Ooh, Rick Lyons is on from Alaska. That's awesome. And we love you guys, and it's more free stuff. We're just going to keep putting free stuff on constantly on that page just to bless you guys. Yeah, that abundance oil. We'll tell some stories about abundance too. It's pretty crazy oil. So that's the freebie. Make sure you check it out. Go to the website and check it out on our Facebook page here as well. And to help you guys out, John and I are foregoing most of our royalties for the book, and we're giving you a 40% discount forever off of bulk discounts of the book. We wrote this book, and we try to keep it as cheap as we possibly could so you guys could pass it to your leaders. We now have a brand new button on the oilabilityteam.com website that allows you to do bulk order. We have a new bulk button right on the website, and it allows you to be able to do bulk orders directly with our publisher. So you totally bypass Amazon. It's going to save you a lot of money. And we did that on purpose. We set the book up that way so that it was affordable for you to be able to use with your teams. So that's how boot camp works. And this is hard. It's hard stuff. You're going to be plotting your business. In 2017, you're going to be laying down goals that I'm going to train you how to stick with. And then through that, you're going to ignite your team. You're going to explode your OGV. The only supplies you need are the book and the workbook, and then getting on these videos. They're free. The videos are free to anybody. You're never behind. So it's okay if we're on day 7. It's totally all right. Just go to the website and start with video 1 and work your way through so you're not totally lost if you're on video 7 with us, all right? If you need an easy place to find them, just click on Bootcamp at oilabilityteam.com, and they're all in one spot, Also, if you don't have your book yet, that's totally okay. Get online, order your book, and as soon as you order it, you can order a Kindle version for $2 off of Amazon. You just got to place the order for the regular book first. If you don't have a Kindle, you don't need it. You can look at a Kindle book on your computer or on your cell phone. So that'll at least allow you to get started on the bootcamp training. The purpose of this is to train you how to use the most duplicatable system in all of Young Living. The videos are 30 to 45 minutes a night. And like I said, if you really want to grow your team with new business builders, show them the first 2 videos. The first one is why do Young Living as a business? And then the second one shares our story. Just send the links out for those 2, share them to your pages constantly, and you're really going to ignite people, and you're going to get a lot of prospects. John and I picked up 9 prospects of people that weren't even involved in Young Living just from those first 2 videos. So it'll really help you guys. So, all right, you guys ready for day 7? It's actually one of my favorite days of the entire boot camp. I told you there's a couple days that are just really hit me really deep because it's things that I struggled with. So this whole boot camp is me sharing my wrestling with the business and the things that I've learned over the last 2 years since I started my business, all the mistakes that I made. I've learned from stars. I've learned from distributors. I've learned from diamonds. I've learned from Gary and Miriam. I've learned from the corporate staff. I've learned from crossline friends. And so this book is everything. It's all in one place. It's all in one spot. So it's easy to find. And this is a night that this hit some really deep core heart issues tonight and things that I had a really hard time with getting over my business. I literally made every mistake in the book. When it came to this chapter, I did it all wrong. I did everything wrong. So I'm sharing my mistakes with you so that you are able to avoid some of these and you can really catapult into your business instead. So I used to think that when I started a network marketing company that I was going to come off really salesy to my friends, right? And my family, that I was going to be begging my comrades to be buying things that they couldn't afford to buy. We're going to totally debunk that tonight. We're going to rip that to shreds, all right? And then we're going to make you unafraid of all things MLM, of all things Young Living. I was worried that I was going to be that friend that invited to parties and made you buy pans and made you buy makeup and made you buy books and be harassed constantly by me all the time. All right, let's start by tackling the truth of network marketing and what network marketing is. All right, and this is going to help you so much. It's all mindset. It's all in your mind. When you walk into a grocery store chain, you are supporting a CEO's third house. When you walk in any grocery store, you're buying stuff, okay? When you buy from an MLM, when you're purchasing from an MLM, you're literally putting food on your friend's table and you're putting gas in their car. You're directly supporting your friend. You're directly supporting their small business. So it's the epitome of a small business, but without the storefront. There's no difference between that and going to the downtown of your hometown and buying something from a local gift shop. There's no difference at all. You're supporting their family business. So I'm going to give you a tool now that's going to help you with anybody who says this is a pyramid scheme. I know we hit it a little bit last night in the other video because somebody asked me about pyramid schemes, but now I'm going to put a tool in your hand that's really going to help you debunk that. I just want you to write this down in your notebook or in your game plan book or whatever else you got next to you. I want you to write down next to you the name of this video. It's called I Still Think It's a Pyramid Scheme by Pat Petrini, Petrini. It's about 3 or 4 minutes. It's on YouTube and it's totally free. You can pop on and go watch it. That is an awesome video. I use that in all of my teacher trainings. Every time I'm training somebody, I pop that in because it shows the difference between a pyramid scheme and between network marketing. We talked about pyramid schemes last night. That's when you purchase something and nothing shows up on your door, and it's very illegal in the United States. Young Living is not a pyramid scheme. It's a $1 billion network marketing company, a $1 billion network marketing company, which is completely supported and backed by the Better Business Bureau. It's allowed by the federal government. Network marketing is allowed by federal government. It's one of the top network marketing companies in the entire world. So it is not a scam. There are 4 million distributors in Young Living all around the world. If it was a scam, 4 million people are getting scammed, okay? 4 million people. I will tell you, for John and I, this is the best decision we ever made in our lives. We spent 18 years working the 9-to-5, 40-hour-a-week job, and I have multiplied my income by 6 since I started this, by 6. So we're not in a place of poverty anymore. We're taken care of forever. Our children are taken care of forever because of this one simple change to network marketing. And I see it over and over and over again. I see families getting blessed. That's why it's so important that you take this training seriously. I sure can. The name of the video is called I Still Think It's a Pyramid Scheme, and it's by Pat Petrini. Oh, Diane Bryson says the Young Living's #1 now for network marketing. That's incredible. And it's on YouTube. You can watch it. It's free. You guys know I'm really big on free tools and free resources that are going to help you grow your business. That's one that we can get you for free and get in your hands for free. It's a great video because it shows the difference between a pyramid scheme and network marketing. This is a completely legit business model. Totally legit. You see how legit? See all those oils? That's how legit. That's how legit this is. So we debunked that last night. Just go watch the video and be empowered, and then share that video with your teams. Catherine, I really appreciate you posting that. Thank you. It's hard for me to type stuff in while I'm doing a Facebook Live, so that really meant a lot to me. So here's a few others that I have heard. I've heard these all over the place because I've been hit from every single corner on doing a network marketing company. You're going to have to forgo a little bit of social respect among your peers when you start network marketing because there's a real lack of education on this type of business model out there. It is a legit business model. It is totally legal in the United States, and it is transforming and changing thousands upon thousands of families all around the world. I just spent time with 350 platinums in Ecuador whose lives are completely different from when they started this business. Like 180 degrees the other direction. Retired themselves, retired spouses, able to purchase homes, take care of their families, take care of their parents. Like, it's ridiculous, the lifestyle changes they've been able to make, the lifestyle changes John and I have been able to make since we started. I retired 1 year after I got my starter kit. My husband retired in September. We're both home full time now, raising our 5 children in upstate New York. Our lives look completely different than they did 2 years ago. So if you stick with this and you keep doing it, you keep plodding away at the business, some of you guys are going to grow really fast. Some of you guys are going to grow slower. It's okay. Pace doesn't matter with this, okay? Pace doesn't matter. All that matters is the end game and that you get to where you're going. And that's what Game Plan was written for. It's to empower you. It's to empower families. It's to show you there's a way out. And if you stick with this, the place that it goes is awesome. It's awesome. All right. It's not a joke. It's serious. It's a mathematical certainty. And if you keep working at it, guys, it's a lot of work. It's hard work. I'm not going to lie to you. Nobody's going to hand this to you. You're going to have to get out there and you're going to have to do it. But if you keep working at it, your business will grow. It will grow. So let's deal with a couple of other questions that people are going to hit you with. All right. You have to get in early to get rich. Man, have I heard that all over the place. Like I said, we're going on 2.5 years now with our Young Living business. We're not even at 2.5 years yet. We're a little less than that. And we're in the top 1% of the company. I think we're like in the top 0.01%. So there's a couple of diamonds between me and Gary and Mary Young. We've got, I think, 4 or 5 diamonds between them and us on our leg up Young Living. And I've done this 2.5 years.
2.5 years, guys, and we're in the top like 0.01% of the companies. So that's absolute baloney. Like, you don't have to get in early to be able to do this. You just got to work it. You just got to work it. If you work it, it'll grow. It'll absolutely grow. I've heard a lot, it's a get rich quick scheme that you're just it's just like some prosperity gospel and you're just waiting for money to fall from the sky and it's all fake. It's a lotto. And I'm like, do you want to see my check and see how much this isn't a lottery? Do you want to see where this goes when you take this seriously and you fight for it and you get out there and you're holding classes and you're connecting with people and you're building relationships? Do you want to see how real this actually is? And do you want to see how hard we worked our butts off? I mean, my kids and I have taught over 260 classes in like 36 states in the United States. There's no secret magic pill that you can take to get to platinum or take to get to diamond. You got to teach. You got to teach classes. Now we're going to talk, I believe, this week about the many ways of teaching classes. There's a gazillion different ways of teaching based on your gifts and your talents. And so you pick the one that appeals to you most. But if you're not getting that 101 script in front of people, you're not going to grow your business. You're just not, I mean, you're going to have to get out there and work. So nobody's handing this to you. I don't hand stuff to people. I'm not signing people crazily under my legs. I'm building new legs so that we're able to get to diamond. I taught a lot of 101 classes. I've taught a lot of specialty classes, many, many, many teacher trainings. And I assure you that if you stick with this and you work at it, your business is going to grow. It will grow. It's a mathematical certainty. I've gotten from many, many people, well, you're the exception to the rule, Sarah. You're not the norm. You're just not the norm of the business. I look at the income disclosure guide and 92% of people never even make it to star. And only 8% are star and above. Do you know why the numbers are like that? It's because 92% haven't caught the vision. It's because 92% don't realize they can get their oils for free. If they held one class a month, they could get their oils for free. If they shared with just their friends and their family and had 10 people sign up underneath them and their only goal is to get their oils for free, they don't know, guys. They don't know. That's why. It's not because they've made a solid decision not to do the business. It's because they don't even know there is a business. So it's up to you guys to get out there and share it with them so they realize that they don't have to keep doing what they're doing, that there's a better way to have a retirement, that there's a better way to live, that they don't have to be chained to a 9-to-5 job. They don't have to kill themselves getting up to their alarm clock every single day and being exhausted every single day. All right. That's not what this is about. This is about freedom. It's about hope. It's about a way out. All right. It's about work. You're going to work, but it's a different kind of work. And it's a kind of work that allows you time economy, which is the best freedom that there possibly is. So for the answer of you're the exception to the rule, I took a survey of our team when we were golds, right when we hit gold rank. Only 5% of our team knew that I was a news anchor and that I had anchored for 18 years. Only 5% of our team. I'm on a network that broadcasts to 5 million people. I'm going to be anchoring on Monday. I'm going to be anchoring next Friday. I fill in just for fun now because I enjoy it. But I talk to a lot of people, so I'm famous in that right. But they didn't even know who I was. Do you know why? Because after that first class, I was already outside of my friends circle. I invited my friends, they invited their friends, and bam, we're signing kits to friends of friends. So 95% of my team, within 2 classes, we had a team in Mexico. They don't know who I am. My radio station doesn't broadcast to Mexico. It's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Oh, Linda says that it's snake oils, witch oils won't last. Well, the snake oils and witch oils, Linda, that you say won't last have been around since the dawn of time. If you are a Christian and you're going back into the Bible, they were literally created. The plants were created before humans were created. The Lord had already created a source for us to be able to use for our bodies before we were ever even made. He knew where it was going. So if you think this is a fad, it's a fad that's been around for 6,000 years. This is the number one way that people took care of themselves were herbs and oils and tinctures for 6,000 years. So I'd really encourage you to do a little more reading and get educated on the oils because it's one of the best decisions I ever made. Far from a fad, far, far, far from a fad. And that's just a lack of education, which is totally okay because there's a ton of books on aromatherapy out there, tons and tons and tons of them. And over 10,000 studies, scientific studies on essential oils just in the last 5 years from very reputable labs including the National Institutes of Health, which is the #1 research lab in the entire world, is doing studies on Young Living oils right now in Washington, D.C. So if you need the science, if you need the backing, if you need the books, just use Google. It'll be your best friend. There's so many good resources out there, and I'd really encourage you to do some research because you're going to look like a fool if you make statements like that. Yeah, 6,000 years of history with oils, so they've been around a lot longer than we have. Jesus used them. Yeah, exactly. All right. So one of the questions that I get is that it's a get-rich-quick scheme, that I'm the exception to the rule. And no, only 5% of my team knew me from the radio, so I'm not the exception to the rule. We have over 800 leaders on the Oilability team right now that are out there holding classes. 800 leaders. Now, not all of them are star and above. Some of them are just doing it to get their oils for free, and they kind of tinker with it. They've signed a couple of family members or friends. Most of them have just 1 or 2 people underneath them. But that's how network marketing works. It's a lot of people doing just a little bit. Now, of those 800, which is 1 in every 4 people on our team, by the way, 100 of them have either retired or semi-retired or made major lifestyle changes, like getting somebody to come clean their house once a week, or getting a mommy helper to help them so that 2 days a week they can sit down and do a couple of hours for their Young Living business and train a leader or teach a class. They've made major lifestyle changes, and hundreds of more on our team are getting their oils and their Ningxia for free. So if that's a pyramid scheme, sign me up. That's all I got to say. Sign me up. I'm free oils, free Ningxia. Heck yeah, I'll take that. Even if that's as far as it goes, which it's not. If you take this seriously and you build a business out of it, you got a sustainable, livable, willable income for your family, a legacy income that is worth fighting for. And we're going to teach you and train you how to fight for it. So that's my entire spiel on MLMs and on pyramid schemes. And hopefully that gives you some good tools to fight back with the naysayers out there. Why Young Living? Why that company specifically? Why does that matter? If MLMs are a good idea, I told you Eric Worre in his training told us that network marketing has produced more millionaires than any other business model in the entire world. So if you need proof, you can check out the Rise of the Entrepreneur DVD on his site, ericworre.com, WORRE.com is absolutely amazing. We talked about that earlier in the boot camp. If you're a green personality and you need statistics to really know that network marketing and MLMs are a smart way of running a family business, that's a great DVD because it's just going to throw so many statistics out there that's going to bless your socks off. All right. But if network marketing is a good idea, which MLM? Which MLM do you pick? Let me make an argument for you for Young Living. All right, why you would pick this MLM over other MLMs if you want to have a home-based business. I'm going to pick a direct sales company with something that's consumable. I would say those are pretty consumable right there. I'm going to pick a direct sales company with something that people need every single day. All right, every day. While I love pans and I love makeup, I don't order them every single month. All right, I just don't. I don't need a new pan every single month. Oils, I use them every single day. Every single day. I wash my dishes with Thieves hand soap. I wipe my counters down with Thieves cleaner. I bathe with Valor soap or with the lemon sandalwood soap. Is awesome. I wash my hair. I just did like a half an hour ago with Copaiba Vanilla shampoo. Is my favorite shampoo that Young Living makes. I diffuse oils all day during school. I diffuse Oola Grow today. I love Oola Grow. I use Nitro in the afternoon, which is a mega dose of B vitamins for me, for a little pick-me-up, all right? Oils are a lifestyle for me. Like, they are a lifestyle. I'm using them constantly all day long. Your task is to help others catch the vision and then show them how to do it, how to use oils. Are you somebody who's watching the boot camp right now? Maybe you've had your kit for a while, and you haven't really gotten out of the baby stage of using the oils. You know how to put a couple of drops of lemon vitality in your water. You diffuse RC for respiratory support. You put a little Thieves on your feet for immune support. But like beyond that, you're really not really sure how to like break into that. All right, I want to use the oils for everything stage. Can I make a recommendation of a book to you that I absolutely love? I've read almost 300 books on aromatherapy to date. And this is one of my favorite books. I probably average 12 to 15 books a week. I'm skim reading through. I've got a whole stack of them in my bedroom right now. This is one of my favorite books. Like, it's one of my top 2 books. And Jen is actually a good friend of mine. I got to meet her after I wrote my book. Her name is Jen O'Sullivan. The name of her book is French Aromatherapy. Essential Oil Recipes and Usage Guide. She's a Young Living guru. She's a certified aromatherapist. There's over 300 recipes in here. I mean, things you would never even think of, like oils you can put in a little bit of Jamaican black castor oil, and then right when you get out of the shower, just put a little bit on your ends, on the ends of your hair. There's cravings oils that are vitality oils that you can stick in your water bottle. Like there's like 50 water bottle recipes. So it's a great book. If you just want to get deeper into your kit and learn how to use some of the stuff in your kit and know which oils you can add to your ER order next to play around with, I'd recommend that one because it's a great place to start. She really did a great job. I'm totally for promoting books that have good content. All right. And maybe you are really good and you've made up a ton of combos. There's a lot of really good information in there. Like if any of you guys have been trained in raindrop technique, you know that you make a well with the oils and you put a couple drops of the oil in your hand and then you swish it 3 times and then you dip your finger into it, make a paintbrush, and then you do Vitaflex on your feet and on your spine. Do you know why you do that little swishing motion clockwise? Jen O'Sullivan says in her book, it's because you're getting the molecules of the oil moving. And the DNA in your body is a double helix spiral. And so if you swirl them clockwise and then you put them on your fingers and you Vitaflex them onto the body, they're still spinning when they hit the body, and when they go into your system, they actually shoot right up the DNA in a spiral. It gets them into the DNA a little faster. Isn't that crazy? Like absolutely insane. So there's some really cool stuff in that book. Why you don't want to blend blends together. Do you know you can muck up the blends by using more than 5 oils? You should only blend single oils. So she teaches you how to blend. She teaches you how to layer. Fantastic resource, and I'd really recommend her stuff. It's amazing. So, all right, back into our training. I just wanted to teach you a little bit about how to learn a little more about your kit. I'm focused on being a leader and training you how to do your business, but I'm also a major oiler. I believe in the product, and so I want to give you some tools so you can learn how to use the product a little bit better for you. Did you know that we've actually put together an entire video, which I mentioned at the beginning, to show you what an oily lifestyle looks like? So if you just popped on and you didn't catch it, we have a freebie we gave away tonight that our team has been using for a little over a year. It's an icebreaker video for our classes to show people what a chemical-free lifestyle looks like. It's going to make your audience laugh, and it's going to convict them about what's in their house. We put it in the back of the book as an item that was going to be for sale in the resources page, but we decided to give it to you guys for free instead. So it is up on our website right now, oilabilityteam.com. If you click on free resources at the bottom of the page, there's a video, and you can share that in your classes, and it'll make everybody laugh, and it'll really convict them too. It's a good giggle. Oilabilityteam.com. Another question that I get all the time are, all right, hold up, let me back up here. So MLMs are good. And oils are good because they're consumable, so it's a really good choice. Oils in particular is a consumable product. So of all oils companies, why would you pick Young Living? Why is this company a good company to go with over other oils companies? Man, so many people have told me that Young Living cannot possibly be the only pure oils company in the world. It can't be the only one. And I'll tell you, I got a background in aromatherapy. The first thing that I did is I got 6 aromatherapy degrees, including a clinical degree that was really, really hard to complete. And I'm a raindrop therapist. I'm certified in emotional release. I've taught raindrop classes with hundreds and hundreds of people in them. I have a background in biblical aromatherapy. I bill myself as a biblical aromatherapist. So I've got that background and certification in aromatherapy. So how could I, as an aromatherapist, tell you that Young Living is the best essential oils company in the world? Well, I'll tell you as a red personality, I've used oils side by side, many different companies. I can tell you with Young Living, I researched them for a good 5 weeks with my news background as a researcher before I decided to go with this company over the other companies. And you're right, guys, it all goes back to seed to seal. So let me give you 2 resources that you can use when the naysayers come to you and say, yeah, you know what, you're just off your rocker. Young Living is not the best oils company in the world. 2 resources. Number 1, seedtoseal.com. Amazing resource the Young Living has put together to show you the entire seed to seal process, which sets us apart from other companies because we pour so much into our farms. Everything goes into the farms. Young Living isn't out there giving cars away to their distributors. They're flying them to the farms because they want them to see how much is put into those farms. Another resource, which is absolutely fantastic, I'm all about putting resources in your hands, is this book right here, which we mentioned yesterday, D. Gary Young, The World Leader in Essential Oils. It's a picture book. You can probably read it in an hour. It's not, I mean, it's a big old book. Look at the sucker. It's huge, but it's mostly pictures, and it shows in pictures the entire story of Young Living and what it took for Gary to be able to build this thing into a billion-dollar company, from trading his bumpers off of his car and selling his first car so he could purchase the land to grow the first lavender field, to sneaking the seeds for the lavender in his boots on an airplane from France on the way home, sleeping on the cement floors of distilleries in France to learn from the greats, cutting down the jungle in the Amazon rainforest to be able to plant ylang-ylang trees to start the first farm in Ecuador. I mean, this guy has been on the dirt, on the ground. Gary is a multimillionaire over and over again, and yet I've seen him on the ground in the last year welding distilleries together. He's not afraid to get down and work. Like he's probably the hardest worker in all of Young Living. And that to me says something about the integrity of this company. When our founder of the entire company is willing to get down in the dirt and build a distillery from the ground up and come into a family farm and save the family farm by partnering Young Living with that farm and build a brand new multi-million-dollar distillery to bless that family because their plants are good and they've taken care of the soil and they haven't sprayed chemicals on it. Like, man, it's awesome, guys. It's absolutely awesome. So let me give you a few stats on Young Living and why I believe that Young Living is the best, all right? There are a lot of mom and pop farms out there that will do one oil really well. I will give you that. They'll do one oil well. There are a lot of oils companies that do oils semi-well. There's some that have been listed on the site, and I'll go to their website, and they've got organic oils, and then they have non-organic oils. And I'm like, oh, wait a second. So this company's okay poisoning me sometimes, but not all the time? Like, why the heck would I trust their organic oils? That's not good enough for me. If poisoning sometimes is okay, I'm not going to trust that company if they've got organic and non-organic companies oils up there. And then I'll go on other companies, and they're like, this is the best company ever. And I'll get on their site, and they've got like 50 oils. And I'm like, okay, Young Living's got 140 and then 80 blends. So if I want to get Copaiba or Dorado Azul, I literally can't get it anywhere in the world except for Young Living. It doesn't exist anywhere because Gary's the only one distilling it. So if you want choices and options, just from sheer size and the work that Gary's done and the groundwork that he's laid down, it makes his company absolutely amazing. Absolutely. Oh, okay. So what do you say to people who say that their company only sources oils where they're natively found? First off, that's absolutely stupid. Okay, because a lot of places where Gary actually addressed this at one of the last retreats that we were just at, because a lot of the places where the oils are first sourced, first off, we don't even know where they're first sourced or where it's about where they grow best, not where they're first sourced. There are places, like there was one lady who said, look at Sarah, I got this frankincense oil from France and it's the purest oil in the earth. And I said, well, first off, frankincense trees don't grow in France. Gary has tried to grow helichrysum in like 3 different countries around the world. You know where it grows best? Croatia. That's where his helichrysum, little helichrysum bushes grow absolutely the best in the world is in Croatia. That's not their native soil, but they grow better there. Their constituents levels are the highest in Croatia. So it's not necessarily where they're first sourced. It's what the plant produces that makes it good. And he's experimenting right now growing helichrysum on some of the farms in the U.S. and they get semi-good results on them because the soil there isn't the best for what that plant needs. So it's not where the oils are sourced or where they're originally from. It's where they're growing best. And the way you know that is by having good teams of scientists that can go out there, do micro distilling on them and test those plants when they're at their peak value. It has nothing to do about where they're natively sourced. It has to do about the constituents, the chemical constituents that are in the plants. So hopefully that helps you answer that question. It's a crock, a baloney, or a crock of baloney. All right, let's see. I don't know where I live off here. I'm a researcher. I told you I researched what company I was going to go with for a good 5 weeks before I decided on Young Living. To avoid drama, I'm not going to name any oils companies by name. I'm not here to shred other companies. That's not why I'm on here. And I don't believe that we as a company do good by tearing down other companies. We know we're the best in the world. So the best thing we can do is focus on the good things that Young Living is doing and keep the focus in that place and not on the negativity, but on the positivity and on the positive things that this company is doing. So let me tell you why love Young Living so much. I've had the honor of visiting every single U.S. farm except for Highland Flats in the last 2 years. I've been on the soil of every farm and more. I've been down to Ecuador. I've been to Mona. I've been to St. Mary's. I've been to Haloa Aina in Hawaii. I was just there a few months ago. Let me give you a few points on why I think Young Living is absolutely the best. I believe it's the best pure company in the world because I've stood in their fields. I've seen what it takes to be able to bring those plants in. I've interviewed the employees at every single farm that I've been to, dozens and dozens of employees, some of them multiple times. I believe they're a pioneer in the oils world. I have far more oils to choose from than any other oils companies. I believe in what they do and in how they do it. And that's enough for me because I've seen the process. I've watched seed to seal. I have so much respect for Gary Young. I don't look at the guy as a god. This is not a cult for me. It's respect. It's respect for work that is done right, respect for work that is done well. It's a deep-seated respect. I see him as almost like a grandfather figure because of his knowledge and just the places that he's been and the work that he's done. All right, will Young Living share the GMS reports to help trust the purity of the oils? I actually just interviewed the lady that heads all of that just a couple of weeks ago when I was in Ecuador, and I asked her, do you know that Young Living used to release those reports? Every single time they released it, somebody took it and they twisted the results. And it created drama every single time they released the reports. Every single time for years and years and years. It was ridiculous. Here's the reality, guys. Here's the law, and here's what's required in the United States. They don't require those reports to be released. They don't require. So if Young Living releases them and there's a cat fight and the results are misconstrued and they're misunderstood, do you know that you have to have a degree in chemistry to understand what those reports mean? You literally can't understand the molecular breakdown unless you're a chemist. I've seen the reports. They actually showed us some of the GC reports when we were in Ecuador and the platinums were going through, and I have no idea what that stuff means. So unless you are an aroma chemist and you've got a background, at least a master's degree in chemistry, you don't even know how to read those reports. Do you know that most oils companies in the world, I would say 98% of them, don't even have a chemist on staff? They don't even know how to read their own GC reports. Young Living has 10. They have 10 chemists on staff. Of those 10 chemists, which have PhDs in their field, 2 of them are considered among the top 10 aromatherapists in the entire world. All right, and that's who we have working for our company. Not only do we know how to read the reports, we know how to do it right. But every time they put that stuff out there, it's misconstrued. And it's not required by any law anywhere in the United States for those reports to be released. So if you were to put something out that is constantly getting twisted and bad-mouthing your company, and there's no law in the United States that requires you to put it out, why would you put it out? All it's going to do is have negative publicity on your company. So I back Mary and Gary again on that. I've seen the reports. Vanessa, you might be able to read them, but I'll tell you, I hold 6 degrees in aromatherapy, and I don't understand molecular chemistry. I don't. I don't know the constituents. You have to have a library big enough to understand every single chemical constituent of every single oil and the entire chemical breakdown and which constituents you need from a chemist's perspective to know what's high, what's low. And I don't have that background. Most people don't know how to read it. All right. So it's constantly getting twisted. We're in Hawaii. It was on the Big Island in Hawaii, not terribly far from Kona, about an hour from Kona was where we were. It's called the Haloa Aina. Are they going to add more farms to the Young Living website? Seems there's more than are actually on the website. Yeah, the ones that they have on the website, boy, y'all got a lot of questions tonight. I'm not going to get through this lecture. The ones that are on the website are Young Living's farms that they own. And they don't have a lot of the partner farms up there on the website. We have, I want to say 7 farms that we own. And then there's a lot more partner farms like the one in Hawaii and the one in Taiwan. The partner farms are farms that Young Living comes in. They build the distillery from the ground up. They work closely with the families that are running the farm. And I'll talk about testing in just a minute. All right, in just a second. 6 degrees in aromatherapy. Wonder what's the most you can have? How many? Oh gosh, I think you could have like infinite degrees in aromatherapy because there's so many different specializations. It's like scuba diving. You can be a cave diver and a scuba diving photographer. All right, let me keep going here with why I believe Young Living. I have so much respect for Gary. I mean, true respect, guys. This is not just coming because I've been programmed. This is coming because I'm a researcher, because I'm naturally curious, because I question everything I see, and I shred everything, and I'm always playing devil's advocate. I'm trained to do that, guys. I've done that for 18 years in news. If I'm writing a story and I'm on that big, powerful radio network, and it's a story about politics, I'll have a Democrat and I'll have a Republican. If I'm writing a story on Common Core, I've got pro-Common Core, I've got anti-Common Core. If I'm writing a story about abortion, I've got pro-abortion, anti-abortion. I'm trained to look at every single side, every single angle, to question everything I see, to interview people, to ask hard questions, what I've been doing for almost 20 years of my life. So I've done it to every single farm that I've gone to. I've interviewed dozens and dozens of employees. I've interviewed Gary. I've interviewed Mary. I've interviewed all of the corporate staff, many of them multiple times. Matter of fact, a lot of the interviews are on this page. You can go go back through the videos and see a lot of the videos of the people that I've interviewed. I just saw Gary in Hawaii in May. So I've shredded this. I've gone deep and asked these questions. All these questions you guys are asking, I've asked all of them when I've gone to the farms because I wanted to know them too. All right, I want to tell you this. You might be able to buy lavender for $4 a bottle, but you can't have a farm with lavender for $4 a bottle with no pesticides, no chemicals, no solvents in distillation, no weed killers, with it all hand weeded, and then sell the lavender for $4 a bottle. It's going to cost you more than that to make the lavender if that's the way that you're growing your lavender out in the fields. Not if you want to stay in business. You're going to lose your farm if you're putting that much into your farm, all right? So why go the extra step to use an essential oil to get away from a chemical and then use an oil that's laden with chemicals? Why the heck would you do that? That doesn't make any sense. Why are you going to use an oil that's tainted just so you can save a couple bucks on a bottle of oil? Again, it comes down to education. You got to know what you're using and what you're slathering, what you're putting on your body. All right. You've defeated the entire purpose of oils if you go buy cheap oils. So if you give my 101 lecture, I think that the most important thing in that entire 101 lecture is the one paragraph on purity. And when we go through the 101 lecture, I'll hit purity even harder than I'm hitting it tonight, all right? But I think it's absolutely critical because people have to know where their oils are being sourced. They got to know where it's coming from. You're not going to use cheap garbage, all right? You want to make sure the stuff you're using is pure, and Young Living is pure. It is very pure oil. So back to respect for Gary. His methods of distillation have been copied all over the world. It's absolutely groundbreaking. Young Living has 180 years of experience from its analytic scientists that are working in research and development right now, today. 180 years of experience just from its scientists that were at Mona right now today at their job. Their areas of expertise are analytical chemistry and chromatography, which is the method that you use to analyze oils. Those are the chemists we have working at Young Living right now. That information was taken from episode 12 of Why Science Matters, which is a podcast by Young Living on their site by Mike Bush, who heads all of the testing at Young Living. The guy is an absolute genius. Young Living pours money into their farms and into the testing of their oils. Mike is heading up studies right now at the National Institutes of Health in Washington, D.C. So we're testing our oils in the #1 research lab in the entire world. We have some of the best chemists in the world working for our company. We know how to test. All right, we know how to test. We know how to make sure that every drop in every bottle is the best of the best of the best. Can we talk integrity for a minute? One of Young Living's most famous oils, famous oils is Valor, right? Valor's been out of stock for quite a while. Why? Because of Blue Yarrow. It's really, really hard to source. 2 years ago, right after I started with my business, the fields in Canada were flooded. And those plants were underwater. And so when they brought them in and they brought the harvest in, they run it through their 8-point test, and 7 out of the 8 tests were high enough. They had the high enough constituents to be able to make to pass the testing. That 8th test wasn't high enough. So what did Young Living do? They wouldn't even sell it. All right, they wouldn't sell. They went without their #1 oil for a year because 1 test out of 8 wasn't high enough. They went without their best oil. All right. That is integrity right there, to lose all of those sales because they will not compromise on purity. They refuse to compromise. Do you know what they use that oil for? They took the oil and they used that precious oil that was 7 out of 8 tests good enough to keep the dust down in their fields around the farm. They spread it on the dirt around the farm to keep the dust down because Gary will not sell you an oil unless it passes every single one of their tests, which, by the way, is not dictated anywhere. That's his test. Those are the standards he set for the oil being able to be that high. All right. It's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. That's the company that you guys work for. That's the integrity that this company has. That's why I love them so much. We're still without it because of Blue Tansy. All right, so pray over Blue Tansy so we can get that oil back, which, by the way, I interviewed the woman that's responsible. She was just hired for getting that oil back in stock, and she says we're weeks away. Weeks away. I just interviewed her. I can put that interview up for you guys tomorrow if you want to see it. All right. I just interviewed her when we were in Ecuador. Okay, so back into this. There's a wonderful book. I already talked to you about D. Gary Young in the book. This book tells you, the one that I just showed you, all that it took to become a $1 billion oils company. So if people question Young Living's purity or their cost, I just point them right back to that book. Is Valor still in the Raindrop kits? I believe they're putting Valor 2 in the Raindrop kits right now. I don't think that they have the original Valor in there, but the original Valor is coming back very soon. They have found a source for Blue Tansy, and it's not very far away, right? Young Living has the largest essential oils farms in the world, and I've used many other oils side by side. I have boxes of cheap oils that I've used side by side just to test it out and just to see. And the only explanation that I have for you guys as to why the oils are different is because they are distilled correctly. They're distilled correctly. They're at the right temperature. They're at the peak of the harvest with the most care. No chemicals in the process. There's integrity in the process. When Young Living goes in to bring an oil in, they don't know when it needs to come in. There's like a 2-week window. They're not totally sure because the pH of the soil is different every year. The rain is different every year. The humidity is different every single year. They don't know. So every single time that an oil is getting ready to come in for a week or more, they go out into that field every hour. They take a clipping of the plant and they take it back to the lab and they micro distill it again and again and again and again and again. And they're watching the constituents in the plant to see when they level out. When they level out, they know it's at the peak of the harvest and it's all hands on deck and they bring that oil in. A mom and pop shop can't be out there with 140 oils every hour, micro distilling every single time it's the peak of the harvest. They can't pull it off. They don't have the staff to pull it off. That's why I don't use baby oils companies. Okay. That's Young Living has built their teams up all around the world so they have the ability to be able to do that. There's integrity in the process, guys. There's over 140 single oils and even more blends that Gary's developed by trudging through the forest in the Amazon rainforest and smelling for aromatic plants. That's why we have so many different oils. He's found them and hiding the lavender buds in his shoes, all right? His story is full of adventure and full of bravery, and his passion for purity and integrity just blow me away with every single farm that I visit. Every single farm I visit, it takes my breath away. I never lose that awe for Gary every time I set foot on another farm. Even the farm I was just at, Ecuador, I was just there a few weeks ago, and I still stood there and lost the breath in my lungs looking at the work that he had to do to clear 2,600 acres of Amazon rainforest to plant thousands of ylang-ylang trees. That's what Gary Young does. Okay, he does the impossible to be able to bring these oils for you. So now when I hold a ylang-ylang in my hands, it just takes the breath out of my lungs. I know what it took to be able to make that oil. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. So it's a transparent company. It's another reason why I love them so much. Talk about interviewing employees, all right? I told you how many employees that I've interviewed, the farms, corporate. I interviewed Brian Clay, one of the brand ambassadors, and talked to him about the oils. I love that. You can open any door. You can ask any question. You can interview any employee. It's a totally transparent company. Do you know most companies in the world, you can't even go to their farms because they don't own them. They're not their farms. You can't go there, all right? Not Young Living. You can go there. You can see the farms. They want you to go to the farms. They encourage you to go and see it. It's awesome. So that's different. We have an expectation of what we want to be able to do because Gary has allowed us to have the freedom to be able to go see this stuff. So it's amazing. The company is honest, they're good, and they do this the right way. So that's why Young Living is a good company. I also love how simple the process is. It's just simple. Okay, it's simple. They step out into this wide field of lavender, never touched with weed killers, never touched with pesticides. They pluck the plant at its peak value. They check it every hour around the clock, which you can't do at a little tiny oils company because there's no manpower. They distill it when it's at its peak value. They use no solvents when they distill it, even though it's more expensive, even though it's time consuming to do it that way. They test the oils, do you guys know this? 24 times. That's how many times every single bottle of oil is tested 24 times. It's tested at the farm through the 8-point test that I told you about. Then it goes to Mona. Every oil that they make goes through Mona. Every single oil. That's where it's bottled. It gets shipped to Mona. The minute it gets to Mona, they run it through the 8-point test again. All right. And as soon as they're done, then it's going to go through a third test. After they bottle it, after they label it, they do a batch test a third time, the whole 8-point test all over again, so that it is literally tested 24 times. There is no other oil in the world that I know of that has that vigorous of testing. Gary is not going to send anything out the door unless it is the best of the best of the best. That is all that you guys are going to get. So I love that. I love that. So that's purity. That's above the normal standard. It's better than organic is what I tell people. So I'm over the fear of MLMs. I am over the fear of Young Living as a powerhouse. They have earned that title. They have earned that respect, all right? They've earned my respect. Network marketing works, or I wouldn't have been able to write this book. Okay. I wouldn't be able to write game plan if this system didn't work. So I believe in it. I believe in the process. I believe in network marketing. I believe in MLMs, and I definitely believe in Young Living. So if you need to defend this company, hopefully this video helps you to defend your love for this company. I'm so madly in love with Young Living because I believe in what they're doing. All right. Now we're going to take on one of the hardest questions of the entire night. This is the one that I've been promoting on this video for the last day. I don't want to sell stuff. Are you guys ready? I'm sorry I'm talking so much tonight. There were so many questions and I wanted to answer some of those for you. I don't want to sell stuff. The fear of selling. This one I think is easier than sticking up for Young Living's integrity. It's even easier, all right? I will tell you guys, never in my 2.5 years with Young Living, never have I sold a starter kit. Not once. Not ever. Never. What I do is I will issue the 3 cabinet challenge in my classes. And I'll do this after I show that icebreaker video that I just showed you in my 101 classes, which you are totally free to use. It's yours. It belongs to you. We released it for you guys for free. It's on the oilabilityteam.com website. Go check it out. I issue the 3 cabinet challenge. And basically what I tell people is you need to know the ingredients of what is in the products that you're using. You need to know what's in your toothpaste. You need to know what's in your surface cleaner that you spray your butcher block down with to disinfect it. You need to know what you're mopping your floors with. You need to know what you're washing your hair with that's in your bloodstream in 26 seconds and has access to your brain. All right. You need to know those things. If you don't know what you're putting on your body and you don't know what you're cleaning with and you don't know what you're slathering your armpits for your deodorant, you could be poisoning yourself every single day and not even being aware of it. So what I like to tell people in my classes to do is I issue the 3 cabinet challenge. I want them to go home, pick any 3 cabinets in their house and flip over the bottles of what they're using every day. Flip over the stuff that they had been using for 20 years, the cleaning supplies that they swear by, the laundry detergent that they love their Spring Mountain smell. Okay. I want them to flip it over and look at the ingredients list. If they don't know how to pronounce that stuff, I want to pick something that they don't know how to pronounce, just put it in Google and put the words dangers of, and then put that little chemical right in the line and Google it and just see what the dangers are of those products that they're using. Chances are they're never going to touch them again. Never, ever, ever going to touch those products again. So I want them to pick their laundry room, to pick their bathroom counter, to pick underneath their sink, whatever. It doesn't matter. And learn the ingredients of the products that they're using in their home. And that's why they need Young Living and their house. It's about a slow, steady swap every single month, just switching out some things that they had never used before and learning how to use some of the products. And we've made it very easy for you to show them some of the things that they can swap it out for. When we get to follow up, we're going to talk about the follow-up system we've got and the tools we've given you to use that to make it easy for you to do follow-up with your teams. All right? It's a journey. You're not going to go gung-ho and just swap out everything as fast as you possibly can. Most people are going to take it one product at a time, and that's not wrong. Every single oil that you use is a chemical that you're not using in your home, all right? It's easy. Never once since I started with Young Living, this is going to answer that question about being salesy, never once have I felt salesy or that I'm pushing somebody to do something they wouldn't do or couldn't afford, ever. What I'm doing is I am training them to pay attention to their bodies, to be aware of the chemicals in their cabinets, and to start living a less toxic life. I was on the other side of a toxic life, guys. I know what chemicals do to the human body. I was the one having brain bleeds every single month when I was 32 years old. I was the one that was at a risk for a catastrophic stroke. All right, that was me. I was the one doing the yearly MRIs with 30 to 40 spots of dead tissue on my brain every single year when I went in, new spots of dead tissue. That was me. I know what chemicals do to your body. All right, I'm not dealing with that anymore. My migraines are gone. January 18th, 4 years since I've had a migraine. Chemicals matter. They matter, all right? And you got to get that stuff out of your house. So for me, I don't want them to go another 2 weeks having that garbage in their cabinets. This is serious for me. This is about them taking care of their families, taking care of their bodies, getting that garbage out of their house and starting to swap it out with things that are not going to poison them every single day. There is a consequence for every single choice you make in your house. There's a consequence for everything that you have got in your cabinets right now. You have to see where that road leads, and you got to start getting rid of that garbage and that that muck in your house. You are out there to empower people. You are out to show them that there's a better way, that there's stuff out there that is not going to poison their families. And you point them in the right direction. It's not about being a salesperson. It's about saving people. It's about showing them that the things they have in their home is hurting them. And you're out there taking care of them. You are empowering them to make better choices. And you're showing them where those good choices are. So it's not about sales. It's about loving the person that's in your class enough to show them that there's a better way of doing this. There's a better way of taking care of your family. If you switch your entire mindset from sales to education, there is no fear. There's no fear. The fear is gone. It doesn't exist anymore. You're not a salesperson. You're a teacher. You're empowering them. You're training them. You're showing them that there's a better way of doing this. All right. A better way of doing this. So you're creating an awareness so that they take steps to get those chemicals out of their house. Let's talk about what it takes to share the oil successfully. There's two things that you need to do this business very, very well. You need passion and you need compassion. You need passion for the product, which if you have a kid in your home, you likely already got that passion. If you haven't fallen in love with the oils yet, go grab that French Aromatherapy book and just start tinkering with some of the recipes that we talked about. If you missed that when I was in the video a little bit sooner, French Aromatherapy, Jen O'Sullivan, Amazon, did a plug for a book. I love her stuff. It's going to teach you how to use some of the different products in Young Living, all right? Compassion is something different. That is about meeting people where they are. It doesn't matter if they're a crunchy mama that does organic, grass-fed, fermented everything, or if they live on fast food 5 days a week. All right. Meet them on their journey without judgment, without the eye roll, with passion, and then just walk them through what a chemical-free lifestyle looks like because you care about them and you don't want them to get hurt. Every single person has a niche for getting introduced to the oils. It might be a diffuser for their new home. It might be the animal sense kit for their pup. It might be a raindrop for their horse. It might be an orb diffuser for their car, which stinks like teenage sun. It might be Agile Ease for joint support. It might be Breathe Again for respiratory support. Just find their niche. Find their biggest complaint, whatever it is that they're struggling with. I cannot get that stink out of my son's shoes. I'm dying. It's killing me every single day. Boy, do I have an oil for that, you know? Did you know that Gary developed an entire oil just for smells? It's called Purification. It's the anti-stink oil, all right? You only get that with one thing. You only get that information from them, what they need, with one way, all right? Listening. You got to find the place where they can understand the oils, and you have to speak to them from that place. You got to be silent and you have to listen to them, and then you're going to know where that place is. It's called forming in network marketing, which basically means do less talking and more listening. Do more listening, especially when you're doing your follow-up. Not so much in your classes, but especially in your follow-up. Tracy Fleet says it's called family. Forget about me. I love you. Tracy's so dead on. So dead on. All right. Do more listening than talking. So now we're at the most important part of the entire night. This is something that I see posted on social media all the time. This one little nugget is going to save your butt with your business. Save your butt. All right. This is something I see posted all over the place, especially on blogger sites. And I crack up when I see it, that you can't possibly take information and trust the facts coming from somebody who sells oils from an oils company, that you can't trust them if they're a distributor. Let's shred this apart. All right, guys, you're going to kick the dust off your feet when you read those posts because it's total ignorance. They have no idea what they're talking about. Why do you want to be the expert? Why? Fear. You fear that people are not going to accept you because you're not educated enough. So I want you to ask yourself this. All right, ask yourself this. Do you trust the person at Panera because they're educated in the science of making bread? Do you expect the person at Barnes & Noble to have a working knowledge of all the books ever published before you're going to buy a book at Barnes & Noble? Do you refuse to order coffee at Starbucks because the barista doesn't know the ins and outs of where the coffee beans are sourced? Come on, guys, doesn't that sound totally ridiculous to hear all of that stuff? It sounds silly, right? So why do we expect that of Young Living distributors? Why do we put the bar all the way up here if you're an oils distributor? Do you need to be an aromatherapist to learn how to sell oils? No. You don't, all right? You are a Young Living distributor. So wear that title with pride and without fear and without having to have every single answer. Release yourself from the pressure of having to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to know tools. I'm going to put tools in your hands in just a second. What about holding rank? What about being a diamond to be respected? Do you know that there are people out there that told me not to publish this book until I was a diamond because I didn't have the authority to publish the book until I was a diamond? That's baloney. I don't believe that at all. I'm a compiler by nature. I'm a researcher. That's what I've done in news for 18 years. So I compiled the best of the best of the best stuff that was out there and put it in one place. I don't believe that you have to have a title to be able to publish a book. Guys, we're number 5 on Amazon. We sold 10,000 books in 4 weeks. Do I have to be the expert? No, I just got to know how to use tools. I got to know how to put it all in one spot. I put it all in one spot. So now you guys have a new tool that you can use to train your leaders and to be duplicatable, right? So do you have to be a diamond to be respected? No, you don't have to be a diamond to be respected. Your greatest tool is not in a title. That's why titles don't matter to me. When I'm a Royal Crown Diamond, I don't care if you're a star. I'm going to be sitting there hugging you in a hallway, encouraging you, telling you that you're the next Royal Crown Diamond because titles don't matter to me. I respect the fact that somebody did the work to be able to get to a Royal Crown Diamond. I'm going to respect their rank, but I don't care if you're a star. I'm still going to love on you exactly the same because a person is a person. They're human. They've got feelings. They've got talents. They've got gifts, all right? Every single one of you guys is unique and you're special and you're treasured and you're created with stuff that I'm never going to be able to do and that some other diamonds out there are never going to be able to do. So it's not in the title. That's not what makes you good at being a Young Living distributor, okay? That has nothing to do with why you're a great Young Living distributor. What makes you good is your connection to people. It's relationships, all right? If there's a question that you don't know how to answer, then you find somebody who does know the answer, and then you put that tool in their hands, all right? You empower people to do their own research, and then you lead them to the right resources. Do you know that there's actually a proven strategy in network marketing that's called third-party validation? All right, it's called third-party validation. It means that you are leaning on a person or on a resource, on an expert, instead of being the expert yourself. So you're connecting with reliable resources. It gives credibility to what you're saying. And here's the bigger thing. It ensures that you have a duplicatable system for the leaders under you in your downline. They are never going to be you. And they don't need to be you. They don't need to be like you. They're not going to have your gifts. They're not going to have your talents. They don't need to be business experts. They don't need to be experts in aromatherapy. They just need to know where to point people when a question comes up. That's it. All right. They just need to call Sarah. I'm going to hurt you, Tracy. All right. They just need to know where to point people. So let me give you 3 third-party tools that I use all the time when I'm doing my business. It's actually right in the game plan book if you need it. It's already typed out for you. It is on page 69 if you guys want to follow along. Very, very simple. All right, so this is what using third-party tools looks like. I don't know the answer to that, but here's where I begin my research, okay, when somebody comes to you. Check out pubmed.com, pubmed.com. It's loaded with studies that'll help you find what you're researching for when it comes to using the oils to work with systems of the body. Here's another example. Okay, so whenever somebody comes with a disease question, just say, you know what, I don't know that. You could begin your research. Here's another one for you. I don't know how to run my business. Maybe this is a business question. Maybe you're 1 month into your business. Do you feel like you can't train anybody because you're 1 month into the business? No. Here's the answer you give. I'm still learning how to run my own business, but I have a great resource in the Game Plan book. It was written by someone who got their starter kit and hit platinum in 17 months. Okay. On the income disclosure guide, a platinum makes $15,000 a month in an income. So, I don't know how to answer your questions, but let me point you to the Game Plan book. That book walks you through step by step. I'm going to hook you up. It's right on Amazon. Bam. Third-party resource. Here's another one, all right, a third one that I get all the time. So now you know what to say when somebody asks you about a disease. Now you know what to say if somebody asks you a business question you don't know how to answer. Here's another one. What makes Young Living such a good company? Well, we talked about that for half an hour tonight, but here's another resource for you. Well, I haven't been with Young Living since they started, but there's a book filled with photos and primary source documents that chronicles the entire story of Young Living that'll blow your mind. It's called D. Gary Young, the World Leader in Essential Oils. I read that book and I walked away with a complete appreciation of what it takes to do oils right. You've got to check it out if you think that buying cheap oil is a good idea. Bam. Third-party resource. All right. Are you going to know as much as Mary Young about Young Living? No. So point into Mary Young. Bam. All right. That's how you do it. Are you going to know as much about playing with oils after you have your starter kit? No, you're not. So point into an aromatherapist, French aromatherapy. Bam. Now they know how to use their kit. You know everything about the business. Maybe you're a month into your business. Maybe you've been a star for 4 years. You're not really sure how to grow your business. Bam. Point them to a resource, game plan. Okay. It's all about third-party tools. Learn your tools and pass them along. Pass them along to your team. Now you don't have any fear. You don't have to be the expert, and your leaders under you don't have to be the expert. I can't talk about desk references. I would love to, but it would make my training non-compliant. And I really want this training to be for everybody. So I'm not going to go into detail on that, right? Because I want to be able to put these videos up. But there are many, many resources out there that you can use to educate yourself on how to use the oils. Many, many, many resources out there. So just get on some of those sites and check it out. Or get on there and you'll be able to answer those questions. So they don't need to be like you, and they don't need your gifts, and they don't need your talents. All right. The same system works if you think that you need to be a certified aromatherapist. To answer the question of whether or not an aromatherapy degree is required to be a Young Living distributor, let's just look at the facts. All right. I told you guys at the beginning, I've got 6 degrees in aromatherapy, 6 certifications. I'm a raindrop therapist. I'm certified in emotional release. I've done hundreds and hundreds of raindrops on people. Biblical aromatherapy, that's what I actually put on my business cards. It's my favorite certification. But you know what? I was a Young Living Gold before my very first certification was finished. I was already a Gold. I had a team of over 2,000 before my very first certification was done. I had my strongest leaders on my team before my first certification. The ones now that are nearly platinum and nearly gold, I had those before any certifications in aromatherapy. Okay, any of them. My team was built without the title. It was built without the title because it doesn't take a title to build a team. All right. It doesn't take a title to build a team. It doesn't take, or to build a business. Going for a certification is a distraction that's going to rob you of your rank, or at the very least, it's going to delay your rank. All right. One woman came up to me and she said, Sarah, I'm sure that you can fill classes because you use the title certified aromatherapist in your marketing. Actually, that's not true. People come because they know me or because they know the friend who invited them to the class. I'm not even going to answer the question about where to go for being certified for aromatherapy because it's completely the opposite of what I'm telling you to do right now. I did this before I realized that that was something that I needed. All right. Before it was something I needed. Yeah, you're right, Tony. I'm just passionate. Sorry. I want to see you guys rank up. And this is a distraction. You don't need a certification in aromatherapy to grow your business. Do that when you're a diamond and you got the time. Okay. Then go and do your aromatherapy certifications. Right now, focus on growing your business. All right. That's what's going to bring the income. That's what's going to bring your willable income. That's what's going to give you a legacy to leave for your family. Don't worry about the certifications right now. You don't need those. All right. And I want to tell you too, don't beat yourself up too hard if you have a no-show or a low-show class. I have them. I get them still now as a platinum. All right. Just pick yourself up and do better marketing. Get personal with your invites and then work on building the relationship with people. We're going to talk about how to fill classes without knowing people tomorrow. That one chapter, My Diamond Upline said, could sell 1 million game plan books. Just that one chapter. So it's a really powerful chapter. Your greatest tool is not a title. It's not an aromatherapy certification. It is not your rank in Young Living. It is your connection to others who have gone before you and who are sitting in your classes. So get really good at learning tools and putting them in the hands of the people that are asking questions. You're going to grow like crazy without the title because you don't need the title. All right. If you get to a place where you're not sure where to point somebody, then that's what your upline is for. Don't miss out on the opportunity of a lifetime waiting on a certification. Don't miss out on your opportunity, guys. You're going to lose it. You're going to get frustrated that you're not ranking very quickly because you're distracted pursuing things that are not growing your business, like the certifications. Y'all made it. All right. Chapter 7 down. You survived it. I talked for a really long time and I'm so sorry. Tomorrow night is the most famous chapter of the entire book. It is the chapter that sparked the entire game plan book. This chapter is why I wrote this book. The whole book was written because of chapter 8. It's what started the entire game plan legacy here. All right. It was because I answered this question 4 straight weeks in a row on my own team training on Tuesday nights on the Oilability team that I wrote the game plan book because I was getting frustrated answering the same question. That question is, Sarah, how do I fill classes without knowing people? So in the workbook, if you got the workbook next to you, we're working through this also in chapter 7. I'm going to give you a freebie. You only have to do half of chapter 7's assignments, but tomorrow I'm going to kick your butt with assignments. So just know you're going to have a lot of homework tomorrow, all right? What I want you to do in chapter 7, I want you to tell me about pyramid schemes and what the difference is between Young Living and a pyramid scheme. Go watch that Pat Petrini video that we talked about for 4 minutes that I still think it's a pyramid scheme video. It's free on YouTube. When you get to page 26 in your workbook, you can pause. You don't have to go any farther than that, and unless you've read ahead and you want to do that chapter. You can save that for tomorrow's boot camp training, but you will have the hardest homework assignment of the entire boot camp tomorrow. It's going to take you a few days to do the assignment, so just prep for it. The homework is the workbook up to page 26. I want you to answer the questions in there. I want you to read chapter 7 in the game plan book. If you don't have a copy, Amazon is where you can get it. I want you to watch the Scavenger Hunt video so you can use that as an icebreaker video in your classes. It's free. And I want you to watch Pat Petrini's 4-minute video on pyramid schemes. Tomorrow, we'll get into some of the most valuable training in all of the boot camp, which is how to get an audience in front of you so that you can share the oils. Like, how do you get that audience in front of you? And we got a great system that'll really help you. I adore you guys. Thank you for a great, great, great night. Hopefully we've debunked some of your fears so you're not feeling salesy. You realize it's all about education and not about sales, all right? So that you're ready to march forward with marketing your very first class. We do have some new stuff on the website that's going to bless you guys. We have a bulk order button now right at the top of the oilabilityteam.com website. Those bulk orders are 40% off forever. We're never going to change that on you. All right. John and I are giving up most of our royalties to make sure that you guys can get these books into the hands of your leaders, because for us, what it's about is empowering your leaders so that they can do the same things that you guys are doing. So make sure you're getting these books into the hands of your leaders and pointing them to the boot camp. Take advantage of that, because that's why we wrote the book. We want to see you guys blessed, and we mean it when we say we want to pack that stage with so many diamonds that Young Living needs a new stage. We're standing behind that with foregoing a lot of our royalty checks so that you guys have the benefit and the blessing, and we can make this book as cheap as we can so you can get it into the hands of your leaders. All right. That 101 audio that you can share with anybody, all right, without even teaching a class. They can listen off their phone. It's free. It's right at the top of the oilabilityteam.com website. Now we have a button for it. You literally just give them the link. It's like right up at the top. It makes it easy for you to share. You can bless us back by ordering books for your leaders and by going to Amazon.com and leaving a review for us on the game plan book. That would really, really bless our team. Tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel, 9 p.m. Eastern. We're going to show you how to get butts in seats so that you have an audience to speak to. You guys have been incredible tonight. I cannot believe you hung out through the entire video tonight. You guys are crazy. I love you. Get online, go order your book, order books for your leaders, gift them to your leaders. It's the best thing you can do for your business this year.